So, good evening, one and all. And today I welcome Miss Priyasha Bhardwaj, ma'am, and who has done significant work in web series like Aarya, Love J's Action, and she featured in Made in Heaven even. So I decided to look back to Made in Heaven to get the key point of your role, so I can use it in the videos. So yeah, I have done a quite research because I got a lot of time discussing, I guess, 2 months. So yeah, it's a great time to research about someone. And ma'am, literally, I am inspired by your journey because you have talked to Hindustan Times and even to many newspapers, and they published an article regarding that you have, in the initial, you have given 200 plus interviews and you got selected in 40, and which is amazing because eventually you have a highest success rate. Well, I have talked to many people like Chitaranjan Tripathi sir, Anish sir, Mukesh Chhabra sir. They have lesser success rate than you. So eventually the success rate is good. How about you? And now, ma'am, I want to talk about the journey from like Guwahati, from where you started, like whether you're a good student, bad student, or a mediocre student like me, and how you developed like going into Bollywood, like I will do the Bollywood movies or I will do theaters and web series.
Thing is that in Guwahati, that's where I grew up. My mother is Assamese, and we were settled there in Guwahati, Assam. That's where I studied in a convent, all-girls convent school. But midway through my schooling, we shifted to Delhi. So I finished my schooling in Delhi. I studied psychology. I graduated in psychology from Delhi University. And soon after that, I started working. I started with banking. My first job was in Citibank. So I did some corporate job for a few years. After banking, I moved to hospitality. So I was working for a hotel company there. After which, because during my growing years, I was a lot into dancing. So I used to learn dance on the side. But parents were not very enthused about me taking it up professionally. I wanted to take it up professionally, but at that time my mother said, you should study, finish your studies first. But once I finished my studies, I just went straight into corporate work, and that took up many years. But then there was a time in 2015 I wanted to quit my job and I wanted to do more in life. That's when I said, okay, I've seen this side of the world. Now I want to see that side of the world because I don't want to have a regret that I never tried. So I just wanted to try it out. I quit my job and I became a choreographer. I used to do many wedding choreographies. Apart from that, I also took up a lot of other, I just kept hunting for work, because once you leave a salaried job and you go into a complete freelancer, you get worried about money coming and you get insecure about those things, because job gives you stability. It gives you a lot of, it binds you also. But this one, but you also have to kind of, you have that stability, which I didn't have as a freelancer. So I used to hunt for a lot of jobs. I had done MC at events in Delhi. This is all in Delhi. I have also been an assistant casting director. I did some voiceover work. So I was doing a lot of freelancing work, which is when I bumped into a theatre workshop. I joined the theatre workshop in 2016. And soon after that, I got a few numbers from them. I got to know that where do these things even happen in Delhi? So I went for a few auditions. I got through a few ads. Then I started with a theatre, as in I joined a theatre group. They were looking for actors. I auditioned. They liked me, so I got the part. So then I got experience of stage also. And I learned a lot. I made many mistakes, but I also learned a lot. And that's what gave me the confidence to try Bombay. So I came here in 2018. Late 2018, and gave a few auditions, and they worked out, and I decided to stay back. And within a year, luckily I got audition for Aarya, and that got me a lot of recognition, after which I guess now I know that, okay, this is what I've always wanted to do, but I never knew how to pursue it. But now that I'm here and I've got some success, like you said, but yeah, I was always, like you said, I'm also a very average student. So for the longest time, I didn't know what I wanted in life. So I just kept going with the flow and kept trying something or the other. I kept trying, and then eventually I landed up here. That's what happened.
Ma'am, eventually talking about even the ads, so like you have done a lot of ads with UNICEF. So any particular reason, or you just like collaborated with them?
No, let me tell you a little secret. These are UNICEF needed actors to be part of this particular campaign. So there others are also all actors. So more like how it happens in most advertisements. Most advertisements look for actors to play a character, a normal person. But because we are not people who come in the movie theaters every day, so general audience who's watching the television doesn't know that I'm an actor. They will believe me as if I'm playing a housewife. They'll believe that okay, this must be a housewife selling a product. So most of these advertisements, including UNICEF, need actors. So it was all through auditions. I just gave as many audition calls as I got, and from that I have managed to represent all these brands, including international brands like UNICEF. So I was very lucky with.
See, the problem with Indian audience is like they don't remember by name. Yeah, they will never remember. They will like, ये आर्या में थी, ये इसमें थी, and that's how people like, used to recognize people. Eventually, when I started, I checked like the podcast. With podcast, the problem is people want to gain knowledge only about like how to stuck into Bollywood or how to go into Bollywood. But the real meaning of podcast is discussing with the person how he or she evolved throughout the process, and that's how I used to get like written comments and like messages from my friends. भाई उससे पूछना हम लोग सीधे कैसे जाएं. So it's not easy. It's not easy because most of the people don't know. Like I featured in 2 ads, and eventually I was not even the part of it. Like I get a call and I was like, चलो चलते हैं, and then हाँ चाहिए कोई बड़ा सा आदमी, and okay, because I have a 6 feet height and like I'm healthy, too much healthy. For healthy, I guess I am obese right now. Yeah, just because of lockdown. But yeah, most of the time people think that जर्नी ठीक है, मुझे बताओ आना कैसे. But ma'am, eventually you are quite vocal because I have read your interviews. And so what is the black side of like web series of Bollywood, or like how people like treat? Because I guess there is not like a welcoming condition in Bollywood. No one welcomes you. You need to make your place. So what is the black side? Yeah.
Yeah, we must talk about it. Because we mostly see the glamour side. But of course, now the ugly side of this industry is also showing up in the media. We don't even have to mention. We all know what we're talking about. There is a very dark side to this industry. But what I have learned about this industry is that it's a fight. It's literally a war. Actually, it's a war zone. There are so many people eyeing for that one job because there are only these many films or web series being made, but there are thousands of us, thousands and almost lakhs of us, of these actors that are eyeing for those roles. So there's tremendous competition to the point that somebody makes you feel bad about yourself only. There are many ways that an actor can be put up on a pedestal, and then they can be thrown off also just एक second में, एक चुटकी लगती है, एक चुटकी में वो नीचे गिरा देंगे आपको. तो कहीं भी like you cannot think that you are the king, you will rule forever. Even Shah Rukh Khan had to face failure. We never imagined Shah Rukh because for us he's like almost like a god. How can he fail? So he's also had his failure. So actors like us I personally feel I have not come here when I was like 19, 20. I came here much, much later after some experience. So it took me also a long time to understand how this world functions. But yes, you have to be very prepared for failure. The failure can come tomorrow. Like literally because I have to depend on my entire body, this is all my instrument. So when I compare it with a job, with a corporate job, these are like two different worlds altogether. So yeah, it is very challenging.
Yeah, just because the stability factor is very much important, because I'm doing it as one of my favorite jobs, but I'm eventually working for a company, even IT firm, just to make a quite enough money so I can follow my passion. Because you can't dependent on one category. Like I started stand-up, and most of the people, my friends, know I fail miserably. And then I realized, नहीं भाई, एक proper job होगी, उसके बाद passion follow करेंगे तो ये रहेगा, हाँ ठीक है कर लेते हैं. Eventually you got independence ना, कि like you can do anything because you have enough money in hand, so you can at least pay your rent, pay your bills, and enjoy a quite good life. And yeah, and you were a corporate person, so how, and even there is also a black side, like people used to torture you in terms of work. But yeah, eventually there are certain things which are common and certain things which are very different. But ma'am, like you have spent a quite good time, like 3-4 years. I should count like 4 years, because if you count 2018, so like in that's why I was talking about the success rate. So ma'am, eventually you got like with a player, like you started with a bang with Aarya, and yeah, your friend Alex O'Neill, who played as your like husband, I guess. So hopefully everything will. But ma'am, how like they treated you? Like you were with a cast, and shit, yeah, you have actors, but not at that scale. But in Arya, you were having Sushmita Sen, Sikandar sir, and many more. So how you cope up with them, really?
So I went on this project like well, frankly, I thought I was very, very lucky that I got the part. I couldn't thank God enough that I got selected to play Saundarya. And when I read the script, before I met anybody, first I read the script. And when I saw how her character kind of moves from first episode with her wedding and then into her funeral, her life is full circle. So I thought the character is written so beautifully. I just couldn't believe that this was happening to me, and every day for me was like a gift. I walked on set and I thought, this is a moment that I will never be able to relive, and this is it for me. I don't know if I'll ever get to work with any of these people again. So it was almost like a dream. So every day I went on set prepared, half prepared, but you also keep some room for some improvisation. So you be ready to face, suppose the actor gives you cues a certain way. Suppose Sushmita is feeling a certain way. She doesn't want to give the line the way we rehearsed, but she says it differently. So I should be prepared to do that. So it's not like that I was ultra rehearsed or anything, especially because the team was very good. When you have a good director, when you have a good team to support you, the job becomes very easy. So the crew of Aarya, was a wonderful team to work with. So they made us very comfortable. And then it became like we were one big family and we were working together. It's a rare situation that the actors as well as the crew, they were also warm and friendly and generous with their sharings.
Yeah, it's a once in a blue moon situation, like
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but yeah, eventually, like people, ma'am, the process of like as a viewer, I should tell you that people used to look up to you only when you have a surprise element. Like there were many characters. I liked yours. I like Sushmita ma'am. I like kind of like Sikandar sir, but not many more characters. Like not, at least not the child cast. I don't know why, but yeah, the reason is people look up to you when you have that surprise element. Like Alex sir did in a like he went for a gunshot. So that's, and eventually your story in the Saundarya and the Alex story is like kind of like retarding, because at the end you die and you even don't know the reason why you are dead. So that's one of the sort of things. But yeah, but you have worked along a great actor, I should tell you, in the first web series, because many people dreamt of debuts. So ma'am, I guess this is going to be fifth web series, Yaar, I guess. This is your fifth web series. So are you going to be on a streak of web series, or are we as a viewer are going to see you in some movies or any kind of stuff?
Yeah, I really hope to do movies. I've been trying. I've been trying to contact people who will look at me as somebody who could be on the big screen and parallel lead roles. So yeah, if the minute I get it, I'm gonna make sure I get that job. I make sure that I give a good audition. For me, every audition is like, it's like that IIT. It's like that entrance exam that people work for years. जो सालों की मतलब महीनों की मेहनत वो जो एक दिन में लगाते हैं, वो एक दिन आता है ना, लेकिन हमारे एक्टर के लाइफ में वो दिन बार बार आता रहता है. हर ऑडिशन वैसा ही उतना ही इम्पोर्टेंस रखता है. So I would want to give every audition like that I want that part. Kabhi I take too much pressure also sometimes. I'm like, okay, if I don't give this audition well, if the director will see the take and say, okay, not good. For me, that is the biggest failure. I'm like, I need to know that the director likes me. Even if for whatever reason, the producer may not like me, the producer may want somebody else, because there are a lot of people who decide who is the actor who's going to play this particular character. For me, the biggest victory will be that director ko mera kaam acha laga ki nahi, because at the end, he understands the actor. So I might have digressed, but yes, to answer your question, yes, I want to do as many films and web series. I want to retire as an actor. So it's
it
a
will
long
happen.
journey.
It will happen because audience is loving you. Eventually, all the web series are 7.1. See, web series are totally dependent on, I guess, IMDb, because people eventually, I used to search like IMDb rating, and when I get okay more than 7, that's good enough for watch. Indie series, yeah, definitely more than 6 in Hollywood. Yeah, that's the situation. Like people are struggling with movies right now because people don't want to waste 3 hours of time looking at a movie, but eventually they can watch one episode while eating, while doing their job, and that's the best part of web series कि एक
Yeah.
episode एक अलग story, so you can't mix it up, and that's the best part. Yeah, but eventually if I ask a personal question, what it is that, is there any film or any web series which you was not able to qualify, like you were rejected, which you regret till now?
No, if a few years ago I would have been thinking, I would get very envious. I'd look at the film, I'm like, I could have got that part. ये वाली feeling आती थी एक time तक, पर अभी मैं कोशिश करती हूँ कि वो feeling ना आने दूँ, because honestly, I started believing this, that role was not meant for me. For whatever reason, it was not meant for me. It was meant for that actor. It's okay. I'll keep working. तो मुझे पता है कि life is not going to be a cakewalk. It's not going to be. So I'm prepared to, ठीक है, घिस घिस के मेहनत कर करके, लेकिन ईमानदारी से वो लाना है. अगर नहीं मिल रहा है तो एक दो आंसू बहा लूंगी, बहाती भी हूँ मैं. When I don't get a project, I do cry. But then the next day I try and like move on. Okay, next.
Because I was reading the article and I saw that you have given 200 audition, got selected, and I was like, why she doesn't feel like happy? Like even I have a success rate of like what is it? It's 20%. I will be happy because it's Bollywood or it's web series. It's not eventually like even people go for job, they are rejecting, like, but there is a chance you will get 5 in 1, 5 in 3. But in movies, and because you have n number of participants and going for just one shot, like I have seen, like I have been into Mumbai and I have done my training there, the corporate training. So I used to look at people. There was a queue line and like 400, 500 for just one shot. Like I used to think, yeah, pagal ho, ek shot ke liye. But now I remember, like when एक shot मिलता, people used to recognize it. आपकी वैल्यू धीरे 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 बढ़ने लगती. And that's the thing of growing कि एक दिन में तो यार कोई सिकंदर नहीं बनता. People should try. आपने कहा घिस किसके मैम, दैट्स द बेस्ट पार्ट कि अगर कोई प्रॉपर दिल्ली वाला होता तो वो इतना सॉफ्टली नहीं बता रहा होता इस चीज को.